Hello and welcome to Western Perspective. This week on the program, WA has been experiencing low GST returns, crying foul over its share over the past few years. But the federal government has announced infrastructure funding for the state that will boost WA's GST share. Tonight we look at whether it will help WA's dire financial situation.
Western Australia is not getting its fair share of the GST carve-up.
The Goods and Services Tax, or the GST. Western Australia currently up in arms over its limited share.
You've got to get it right.
Federal Treasurer Scott Morrison revealed in April WA would receive 47 cents for every dollar in the next financial year, the state's share rising from 34 cents. But WA is set to get a boost to its GST share.
This is a very welcome announcement.
The federal government has revealed it'll provide the WA government with funding as a GST top-up. Federal Finance Minister Matthias Cormann says the state will receive the funds for a number of infrastructure projects.
We are announcing today $188.9 million in additional federal funding, which will go to the Joondalup Health Campus, the expansion of the Joondalup Health Campus, Osborne Park Hospital and, of course, Royal Perth Hospital.
Deputy Premier and Health Minister Roger Cook has welcomed the funding to improve the state's medical system.
These resources will go a long way to ensuring that we can implement these policies, and it's all about putting patients first.
The money will also improve WA's GST share, increasing it during the next year.
What we are doing today, by making this further top-up payment, is effectively lift WA's share of the GST to 50 cents in the dollar. Under the current formula, WA's share of the GST has started to increase in the ordinary course of events. But we agree, we agree with the Deputy Premier, we agree with the McGowan government that WA's share of the GST is still unacceptably low.
It's the fourth GST top-up payment in the past 4 financial years, with the federal government currently providing WA a total of $1.4 billion. It formed part of 2 consecutive days of funding in April, including major road projects, Metronet and a water project in South WA as part of a multi-billion-dollar package on the second day. The federal government denies it's a cash splash.
We didn't think it was appropriate for WA's share of the GST to be allowed to fall to below 30 cents in a dollar. That is why from April 2015 onwards, each year in every budget, we have made a federal GST top-up payment to Western Australia.
While the payments are helping WA in the short term, Mr Cormann claims the nation's GST distribution still needs to be improved.
Our government is committed to long-term GST reform, which is why we've initiated a Productivity Commission review into the effects on national productivity and national growth of the current GST sharing arrangements.
Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull hopes that when the distribution is reformed, it will be fair for all states.
But we've got to recognise that whatever the new arrangements are, however they're structured, they've got to be seen as being fair everywhere.
And the Deputy Premier believes it will take time.
We are still a long way from home in relation to Western Australia getting its fair share of the GST.
And that's all for this week. We'll see you next time. But for now, Ivan and Danielle, it's back to you.
Nelson, thank you very much. This week's main news again. Federal opposition announced support for banning live animal exports if they win the next election. Stop Live Export activists said the controversial exporting of livestock needs to end. However, there are concerns that the ban will see the demise of WA farmers and local communities who rely on the export industry as primary income. Meanwhile, Premier Mark McGowan believes the industry needs to clean itself up.
And that's our weekly news and current affairs. You can follow the latest news on our website and Facebook page.
Until next week, thanks for your company. Good evening.
Good night.